the third era of the Khilafah began in the Islamic Empire. The 132nd year after the Hijrah marks the beginning of the reign of Bani al-Abbas, the Abbasids, a government, an establishment, and an empire that takes its name after the youngest of Rasulullah's uncles, Al-Abbas, who is buried in the Baqi', in the holy city of Medina. This date marks a new era to the establishment of the second dynasty in the religion of Islam and the third Khilafah. The first being Al-Khilafah Al-Rashida, the rightly guided caliphs. Second, the reign of Bani Umayyah. And third is the Abbasside Dynasty. Now, this dynasty is highly praised and glorified by Muslim scholars and thinkers. It is described to be the golden era of Islam. It is described to be an era in which every Muslim should be proud of. Why? Because the Islamic territory had reached 1/3 of the earth. 1/3 of the earth was governed by the Muslim Caliph. 37 of the current countries today were governed by the Khalifa from Baghdad, the Abbasi Khalifa from Baghdad. 11.7 million kilometers were part of the 7th largest empire in history. The Abbasi Dynasty is the 7th largest empire in history. A time in which the capital of the Khilafah from Baghdad was the center that attracted intellectuals and scholars and physicians and engineers from all over the world. Dar al-Bayt al-Hikmah, the house of wisdom, was established by the Abbasi government. The house of wisdom that attracted scholars, mathematicians, engineers, physicians, orators, thinkers, authors, writers from all over the world. It was the era in which the Islamic literature was translated into many different languages and spread around the world. It was the time and era in which books were translated from different languages to Arabic and studied in Bayt al-Hikmah in Baghdad so that the Muslims can seek knowledge from different civilizations. It was also a time of great mixing in cultures. Imagine 37 countries, current countries, have now become part of the Islamic empire. And they all had their influence on the religion of Islam. And there were so many versions of Islam by now. There was the version which was influenced by the Greek philosophy. And some Muslims were influenced by mysticism. And some Muslims were influenced by the Chinese civilization. And some Muslims were influenced by the Indian culture or civilization. Some Muslims were influenced by the Jews. And some were influenced by the Christians. And some were influenced by the Persians. And some were all influenced by the Greek. A huge mix of different civilizations and denominations and interpretations of the religion of Islam, and they all claim that we are the correct version of Islam. We understand Islam. We are the true definers of the religion of Islam. And there was scholarly exchange, and sometimes it got heated. And of course, at other times, those different understandings called each other Muslims and infidels and non-Muslims and fought one another. However, it was the time of great mixing, where culture played an important role. Different civilizations played an important role in defining the religion of Islam. indeed the opposite of what Rasulullah was trying to achieve. Because Rasulullah, when he began taking charge of the Muslim Ummah, he told them that the most important thing, the most important driving force, the navigator of every Muslim should be the religion of Islam, not their culture. There are many aspects of the Arabic culture that Rasulullah had to fight. He had to put an end to many of the cultural practices. And there he faced great opposition. Everything shall be dominated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is above culture. Quran is above culture. Rasulullah is above culture. And of course he faced a lot of opposition. But here is now a version of Islam which is heavily influenced by different civilizations and cultures. And this is an important theme when studying and examining the period of the Abbasside Dynasty. What do I mean? Today, a student of Islamic history, a student of Tafsir Quran, a student of Hadith, a student of Islamic literature must study the influence of the Abbasids on the religion we call Islam today. Because it was at that time that tafasir were written based on different understandings and cultural influences. Rituals were brought in from different civilizations into the religion of Islam, and they remain amongst the practices of the Muslims today, and they're seen as a part of the religion of Islam. But they were imported from different civilizations. Hadiths were interpreted according to different understandings, philosophical understandings, mystic understandings, nationalistic understandings, cultural understandings. And their influence exists within the midst of the religion of Islam until today. Scholars from all over the world came and they defined Islam and they understood Islam with their own mindset. And scholars are also influenced by different things.